The World Economic Forum opens with a focus on the global economy and Trump's inauguration. Trump holds off on tariffs on China, signaling a negotiation shift. And Fitch Ratings expects Israel's financial outlook to remain weaker than before the war on Gaza. You're watching Qnews and welcome to the Economic Bulletin. I'm Henny Saif. We will bring you the latest developments shaping the global economy, from key market trends and financial updates to regional economic highlights and forecasts. We provide essential news and welcome back. We start off with the global economy as the 2025 World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, kicked off with discussions on global economy and the inauguration of the US President Donald Trump. Trump, sworn in for his second term, drew significant attention, especially in sessions focused on North America's future and his presidency, which were oversubscribed. WEF President George Brand highlighted the global interest in the US and said he would focus on Trump's plans for the Middle East and China. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen called for unity to combat escalating global competition during her address at the World Economic Forum in Davos. Von der Leyen stressed that Europe must adapt to thrive as sanctions, export controls and tariffs are expected to increase. She emphasized the European Union's readiness to engage pragmatically with the United States while upholding its principles. She also highlighted the need for a balanced relationship with China, seeking mutual solutions to shared challenges.
To sustain our growth in the next quarter of the century, Europe must shift gears. And this is why I asked Mario Draghi.
Moreover, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen reaffirmed the EU's commitment to the Paris Climate Agreement on Tuesday, following US President Donald Trump's decision to withdraw the United States from the accord. Speaking at the World Economic Forum in Davos, von der Leyen called the Paris Agreement the best hope for humanity and emphasized Europe's determination to protect the environment. She also advocated for enhanced cooperation with the US and other global partners, stressing that engagement and dialogue remain key priorities.
We want to protect nature and stop global warming.
Chinese Vice Premier Ding Zhujiang reaffirmed China's commitment to balanced trade and multilateralism at the World Economic Forum. Ding emphasized that China does not pursue trade surpluses and is open to importing high-quality goods and services. Highlighting the benefits of economic globalization, Ding warned against protectionism and trade wars, calling them counterproductive. His remarks come as Chinese policymakers address economic challenges and uncertainty surrounding potential US tariff hikes under President Donald Trump.
愿意进口更多国外有竞争力的优质产品和服务。从对外贸易看，我们不追求贸易顺差，愿意进口更多国外有竞争力的优质产品和服务，促进贸易平衡发展。中国的关税总水平已经降到7.3%，处于全球比较低的水平。 我们给予所有同中国建交的最不发达国家100%税目产品零关税待遇。
The 55th World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, continues until January 24th, offering a pivotal platform to address global economic and geopolitical challenges. Under the theme Collaboration for the Intelligent Age, the forum gathers world leaders, business executives, and experts to tackle pressing issues across 5 key priorities: rebuilding trust, investing in people, reimagining growth, safeguarding the planet, and industries in the intelligent age. Rebuilding Trust focuses on enhancing international cooperation amidst rapid global changes. According to the World Trade Organization, the digital economy has driven trade growth at an annual rate of 8.2%, far surpassing traditional trade 5.8%. Reimagining growth highlights innovation as a cornerstone of economic recovery. With the digital economy accounting for 15.5% of global GDP, and poised to generate 70% of new value in the next decade. Investing in people emphasizes upskilling and creating jobs aligned with the future economy, while safeguarding the planet promotes innovative climate partnerships and technology-driven emission reductions. Industries in the Intelligent Age explores how modern technologies, including AI and biotechnology, can enhance industrial resilience amidst global transformations. Featuring over 100 high-level discussions, Davos 2025 provides an open platform for dialogue, fostering innovative solutions to the world's most pressing issues.
And joining us now from Cairo is the economic researcher Mohammed Al-Bahweshi, here to discuss the latest developments in the global economy and the World Economic Forum currently being held in Davos. Welcome to Qnews, Mr. Bahweshi. How does the theme collaboration for the intelligent age reflect the current global economic and geopolitical challenges?
Welcome to you and to your viewers. Today, the Davos Summit is convened in a critical time amid the geopolitical events and technological advancements which imposed a lot of challenges, including ethical challenges and others that might produce the opportunities for multilateralism, in which there will be a high dependency on technology and digital transformation. Through this, the Economic Forum, which is a great platform for joint cooperation between countries and international corporations to create opportunities to face the common challenges, whether on climate change challenges or economic ones. So I think this Economic Forum with this theme is searching technological opportunities to advance the digital transformation and make the best use of it to support the interests of the state participating in the summit.
Then what concrete outcomes can we actually expect from the forum in addressing these challenges you've mentioned?
Of course, it's expected that we see the outcomes of this forum increasing the trade exchange volume and the dependency on AI, and setting ethical standards to deal with the technological advancements, including codes of ethics, and supporting developing countries to achieve digital transformations and adopt new technologies, in addition to investment opportunities, which is one of the most important points to be proposed in such fora. The investment opportunities by international financial institutions, which always require developing countries or corporation to make use of facilitated funding opportunities to support developing populations, developing countries, to increase the strength of their economies and create a qualitative shift for investment opportunities in green economies or create technological opportunities to support developing economies.
Well, sir, how can nations effectively rebuild the trust among themselves amid the rising geopolitical tensions and trade disputes?
The current conflicts and geopolitical events are affecting the entire world with no difference between a major state or a developing one. The world now is looking for opportunities to rebuild the trust and recreate the serving common interests and create a state of sustainability in the development and investment projects to serve common interests, not to serve one country's or one advanced country's interest over others. So it is a state of creating joint opportunities to support the global economy that would serve all parties.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Bahweshi, now the digital economy is contributing over 15% of the global GDP. How can developing nations best capitalize on this shift?
Of course, today the digitalizations witnessed in the world is not only in the advanced or developed countries. We're talking also about developing countries that are making digital transformation possible. The developing countries now need the localization of technology. And these are the investment projects taking place at the moment to increase the investments that would benefit the investors as well as the developing countries who are seeking the localization of technology, as the developing countries are now maximizing the use of these investment opportunities to develop the digital infrastructure and increase the operation opportunities that has been neglected for years. This digital transformation needs the push of the human resources after being rehabilitated and qualified to accommodate this digital advancement, as we all seek to be the basis of the economic digital world.
Mm-hmm. One final question, sir. How do you see the participation of key leaders such as Donald Trump and Ursula von der Leyen and others shaping the forum's discussion?
Today we've seen President Donald Trump, the President of the United States of America, which is dominant in the global economy. His statements were highly influential on the global economy. We have seen during the past few days a lot of statements that have impacted the global economy, including the increasing the tariff on China and India, and a lot of other statements with regard to digital currencies, which caused a state of uncertainty. And all of these things influence the global economy, as it has not recovered yet from the geopolitical
yes.
or the other crises like the corona pandemic or the military conflict between Russia and Ukraine or the Israeli aggression on the Gaza Strip. All of these crises had implication on the supply chains, on the trade operations.
Definitely, sir. Mr. Mohammed Al-Bahweshi, the economic researcher, thank you very much, sir, for your insights. And back to our news. The Office for National Statistics has revealed that UK pay growth surged at its fastest pace in over 3 years, with wages rising by 3.4% between September and November after accounting for inflation. Private sector wages saw stronger growth than the public sector. The rise in wages, coupled with a drop in inflation to 2.5%, has increased expectations that the Bank of England will cut interest rates in February, despite concerns that higher wages could push inflation up again. The bank is closely monitoring pay and jobs data in decision-making. The UK unemployment rate rose to 4.4%, while vacancies continued to decline. ZEW Economic Research Institute has reported that investor sentiment in Germany took a sharper than expected hit in January. The ZEW Economic Sentiment Index fell to 10.3 points, down from 15.7 in December, missing analysts' forecasts of 15.3. The decline follows Germany's second consecutive year of economic contraction, fueled by weak household spending and subdued construction demand. ZEW President Achim Wambach warned that if these trends persist, Germany risks falling further behind its Eurozone peers. Russia recorded a budget deficit of over 3 trillion rubles in 2024, marking the third consecutive year of a shortfall. According to the Finance Ministry, both spending and revenues rose sharply as Moscow continued to allocate economic resources towards the ongoing war in Ukraine. Preliminary figures showed revenues increasing by 26%, totaling 36.71 trillion rubles, while spending surged by 24.2%, reaching 40.19 trillion rubles. Despite the increase, the deficit narrowed as a percentage of GDP, dropping from 1.9% in 2023 to 1.7% in 2024. Malaysia and the European Union have resumed negotiations for a free trade agreement 12 years after talks stalled over issues related to Malaysia's palm oil industry. Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim's office stated that the trade deal would unlock significant benefits for Malaysia's economy, particularly in sectors like manufacturing, green energy and exports, including electrical products, optical equipment and palm oil derivatives. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen emphasized that the partnership would extend beyond economic exchanges, focusing on labor rights, climate and environmental protection. Statistics Canada has reported that Canada's annual inflation rate slowed to 1.8% in December, down from 1.9% in November, aided by a sales tax break introduced in mid-December. The prices included in the Consumer Price Index are inclusive of all excise and other taxes paid by consumers, and as a result, any tax break brings down the prices recorded by the Statistics Agency. The tax relief reduced prices for restaurant food and children's clothing. On a monthly basis, the Consumer Price Index contracted by 0.4%. The sales tax exemption, which impacted about 10% of the index basket, drove significant changes in prices. Official data has revealed that Argentina achieved a historic $18.9 billion trade surplus for 2024. This marks a significant achievement for Libertarian President Javier Milei in his first full year in office, surpassing the previous record of $16.89 billion set in 2009. The surplus came at the high end of analysts' forecasts, which predicted a range of $18 billion to $19 billion. December alone saw a $1.67 billion surplus, marking the 13th consecutive month of exports exceeding imports. On his first day back in office, President Donald Trump surprised many by refraining from imposing tariffs on China or labeling it a threat, suggesting a shift towards negotiation rather than confrontation. In his inaugural speech, Trump left the door open for talks, stating that tariffs could make the U.S. rich as hell, but avoided singling out China. Trump also delayed a ban on TikTok, proposing an unprecedented plan for the U.S. to acquire a 50% stake in its American operations. Bank of America CEO Brian Moynihan described President Donald Trump's pro-growth policies as beneficial for business. Moynihan emphasized that the administration's focus on boosting the U.S. economy aligns with its campaign promises. While Trump has yet to impose universal tariffs, he hinted at selective measures. Moynihan noted that moderate tariffs of 10 to 15% are unlikely to disrupt the economy significantly or drive inflation, referencing Bank of America research. Despite President Donald Trump's executive order delaying the enforcement of a ban on the popular Chinese-owned app, TikTok remained inaccessible on Apple and Google app stores in the US on Tuesday. The delay of 75 days comes amid concerns over the app's future after a law requiring its Chinese parent company, ByteDance, to sell the app or face a ban went into effect. Although TikTok resumed its services following assurances from Trump that its partners would not face significant fines, it has yet to return to the app stores. Both Apple's App Store and Google Play cited current US legal requirements as the reason for the pause in downloads. In the tech sector, Indonesia's antitrust agency has fined Google 202 billion rupiah for unfair business practices related to its payment system services for the Google Play Store. The investigation, launched in 2022, found that Google had abused its dominant market position by requiring Indonesian app developers to use Google Play billing at higher rates than alternative payment systems, threatening removal from the Play Store if they did not comply. The agency found that Google's fee is up to 30% via Google Pay billing resulted in reduced earnings for developers and a decrease in user numbers. The Syrian Minister of Water Resources, Osama Abu Zaid, stated that Syria requires between $500 to $700 million for rehabilitating its water distribution networks. He also highlighted the need for $100 million to $150 million to implement smart meter systems and an additional $200 million to integrate renewable energy solutions into water stations. Fitch Ratings has stated that Israel's financial outlook will remain weaker than before the war on Gaza. While a permanent ceasefire in Gaza has reduced credit risks in the region, the agency anticipates that Israel's financial condition will remain fragile. Despite this, Fitch indicated that the ceasefire increases the likelihood of an improvement in Israel's financial and economic performance by 2025. In the markets, global shares inched up in a muted reaction on Tuesday to the inauguration of US President Donald Trump. France's CAC 40 gained 0.37%, while Germany's DAX inched up 0.04%, and Britain's FTSE 100 gained 0.13%. The future for the S&P 500 was up 0.41%, and that for the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 0.67%. U.S. markets were closed on Monday for the Martin Luther King Jr. Day holiday. Hong Kong's Hang Seng jumped 0.91%. The Shanghai Composite inched down 0.05%, and Japan's Nikkei 225 went up 0.32%. Oil prices fell on Tuesday as investors assessed U.S. President Donald Trump's plans to apply new tariffs later than expected, while boosting oil and gas production in the United States. Brent crude futures were down 1.9% at $78.63 a barrel. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures were down by 2.8% at $75.74. These are all the news we have for now, but here's a reminder of the main stories in the economic world. The World Economic Forum opens with a focus on global economy and Trump's inauguration. Trump holds off on tariffs on China, signaling a negotiation shift. And Fitch Ratings expects Israel's financial outlook to remain weaker than before the war on Gaza. This concludes our economic bulletin for today, but please don't forget to follow Q News on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram and TikTok at Qnews EGY to stay informed. I'm Henny Safe. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more here on Q News.